I had a thought experiment when I woke up this morning. I said, if I were to start riding in 2024, knowing what I know now, what choices would I make? What gear would I buy? What bike would I get? And what kind of riding would I prioritize? It's actually really different than how I started riding. So I wanted to tell you guys today what I would do in 2024 if I was gonna start riding, knowing what I know now. Let's talk a little bit about what beginner riders are looking for in 2024. The first thing we're gonna think about as a beginner rider in 2024 is you don't want to break the bank. And that's not because you guys can or can't afford it. I'm sure plenty of you can go and buy a $20,000 motorcycle as your first bike, but really what it comes down to is you don't want to get something that's super expensive because you don't know if you're actually going to stick with motorcycling. The second thing I would think about is choosing a motorcycle that's going to allow me to ride as much as possible. So that's something that's going to be new or lightly used and something probably Japanese if we're being completely honest. The thing that people most want to do when they start riding is simply going for a ride. Beginners usually chuck down a bunch of mileage, so getting something that's a little more neutral, upright, comfortable, and allow you to dabble in a little bit of everything. We're talking road riding, maybe some scrambling, maybe some long distance stuff, and maybe carving up a twisty road as well. And the last thing we want to make sure is that we're riding safely. So our choice of motorcycle is going to be something in the 400 to 650 cc range, probably making a little less than 50 horsepower. And we want something that's not going to be super committed one way or the other. We don't want a hopped up sport bike. We don't want some big lumbering cruiser. And when it comes to safety, we don't want gear that is cheap or crappy. So we're gonna get you stuff that's rated, awesome, good to go, slide resistant, and impact protective as well. Let me jump on my desert sled over here and tell you about the bikes I would choose. So without a doubt, the CRF 300L Rally would be on my short list. And why is that? Well, it perfectly fits the mold, doesn't it? You got longer fuel range, you got kind of quirky setup with the dual sport adventure styling, Honda build quality and reliability, a low weight, 331 pounds. That's awesome for beginner riders. I would especially love that. Tip it over, pick it up, no problem, which is something you're probably going to want to do because you're going to be scrambling the thing and riding on trails, doing long distance riding with it, running some errands. And best of all, it's $61.99. It's not too expensive. I would personally try to find one lightly used, but that would be on my short list of motorcycles that I would get for me personally. It just fits the bill so perfectly. And the best part is, once you graduate to a different motorcycle, it has the ability to have some staying power in your garage. So you could keep that bike, you could still do some trail work on it, go cruise around with it, run some errands, teach other people how to ride on it. It's a great platform. But second on my list would probably be that Triumph Scrambler 400, man. I was so blown away by that motorcycle. It's so value driven, it looks so freaking sweet, and as you guys can tell since I own this motorcycle right here, I love the retro classic vibes of a Scrambler. I just think it's so freaking cool. And with a 398 single making 40 horsepower and 28 foot-pounds of torque, priced at about $5,600, what's not to love? I'd probably get it in the green colorway. I love that kind of British green, forest green kind of color vibe they have. Put on some leather bags on it, fit the bill, and that'd be my bike. Because, you know, it's not quite as off-road capable as the Honda, right? It's not something that you're going to want to chuck down any kind of single track because it weighs a little under 400 pounds, so it's not exactly lightweight, but the styling is so important to me, and that's a bike that if it's anything like the Speed 400, which it shares a lot of components and parts with, it's a bike that you're going to want to ride a bunch, and you're really going to want to enjoy it. And I could definitely see myself just jumping on the 400X, going out for a big old ride, and having some fun with it. That would be freaking sweet. Now, the last bike that I would consider, and it's one that I've actually owned before, and I would happily own again, is the Yamaha WR250R. Now this bike is just awesome. It's bulletproof reliable. You can pick it up for $4,500 all day long on the used market. They don't make them new anymore, so you're gonna have to buy it lightly used. It's got super approachable power. I think it makes a little over 30 horsepower in stock form, 249cc liquid-cooled single. Very trail capable, despite what any of the enduro boys say. I know it weighs about 290 pounds. You know, maybe you can lighten it up to about 282 or 280 or something like that. But, you know, if you're not doing serious single track, it's more than capable. I've seen people on WR250Rs doing absolutely insane things. Most notably riding with Tom, one of my favorite motovloggers that I've watched for so long. Crazy Australian guy. He's taken his WR to the Simpson and all kinds of places. So if he can do it, anyone can. And it's just a great platform. And for me, again, if it was me starting out and riding all over again, I wouldn't really mind the fact that, you know, it's a little bit tall, it's a little bit, you know, large stature because it's a nice tall dual sport. And again, it has that staying power inside of your stable. You get that bike as your first bike, you know, it's not going to be the greatest at long distance touring, but, you know, the kind of fun you can have with the WR250R cannot be understated. Low speed, low stakes fun, popping little wheelies, trying to jump over logs and stuff. What a great machine. Super fun, super capable, super enjoyable motorcycle that, you know, that definitely would be one of my top picks for sure if I was starting over again. I remember when I had the WR250R, I was like, dude, this is a perfect bike. And you can keep it for a long time, and it can keep many riders entertained, which is the cool part. So that would certainly be one of my picks, and perhaps the pick. But now let's talk about the gear a little bit, because I think that's equally as important. And you might be surprised with some of my choices here. All right, running through the gear I would get here. As a quick aside, none of these companies paid any money to be in this video, so this is literally what I would just buy and spend my own money on, and I'm going to explain why I would do that. So the first and the most important is your helmet. I would personally go with the MX-9 Adventure from Bell. The reason I would go for it is, number one, I wanted to fit the vibe of my motorcycle. I told you guys I'd get something like a CRF300 or a Scrambler, so I want something with the peak so I can protect against the sun a little bit. And honestly, I've been super impressed with Bell's stuff. I had a Bell helmet for a little bit, and I really like the MIPS. That's their multi-impact protection system. It's a concussion protection system. And the best part is that this helmet also is ECE rated, and you can get it for as little as $179. So you're getting tons of protection, tons of value. And I would personally rock it probably in something light like this kind of white colorway. The reason for that is that it's going to reduce more of the heat that's going to come into your head. It's a big difference between a black helmet and a white helmet. And you might say, Yam, I literally just saw you wearing a black helmet. And you're absolutely right. I used to have a white helmet and I miss it. But I have yet to crash or use up my black helmet that I bought. And I'm not going to spend an extra $600 getting another Arai helmet if I don't have to. But my next helmet, I swear to God, will be light colored because it is a significant difference having all that heat coming into your head. So you can get in the all white colorway. Got lots of cool color options here. You can get kind of this fluo, high-vis kind of color here. Bell also makes photochromatic lenses you can put on this. So a really great all-day, all-usable helmet. Lots of ventilation. Again, we're trying to maximize our value and maximize our ability to go out and ride as much as possible. I believe you can also pop off the top peak on this helmet and rock it like a normal full face. So if you wanted to go for the sport option later in life, this helmet will work as well too. Okay, for the jacket, keeping it super simple. I would just get this like Scorpion cargo air jacket. Very, very simple jacket. It has impact protection inside of it, skid protection, you know, super, super basic stuff. The most important part for me, especially since I live in Texas, is that it's a mesh jacket. Leather will protect you better, obviously, but if you're riding and it's so hot, you don't want to be doing any of that with the kind of jacket. This jacket also features an expandable cargo bag if you need it. So again, we're maximizing our ability to travel long and travel well. Okay, for the gloves, since, you know, maybe I'm going for the Scrambler, maybe I'm going to do that kind of thing with it. I really like these Revit Avion 3s. I think they look sick. They would really fit the vibe of something kind of like, you know, adventure-y, dual sporty, kind of scrambler-y. Really, really cool glove. And I love the perforation on it as well. Going to keep your hands a little bit cooler in the summer, and Revit, great brand. So I would definitely go with these Icon Stormhawk boots for two different reasons. Number one, they have ankle protection. That's super important to me. I don't want a short cuff sneaker or anything like that, and they look a little bit more beefy. You don't need something super beefy like I rock with the SMXs on the daily, but this would be an awesome fit because it also allows you to get off of the bike and look normal. You don't have some crazy big boot that you're wearing. It just looks like you're wearing something a little bit more tactical, and it's definitely gonna work. All right, for pants, I would probably go with either the Revit pants that I already wear currently or something like the Saint pants. These are $199. They're CE AA rated for slide resistant impact protection. They have armor included in it as well. This is a super high quality pair of pants. I would probably get the straight fit just because I feel like it's not, you know, 2011 anymore. Slim jeans look a little not so great, I think, on my body as a grown-ass man. You know, I don't want to be out there wearing skinny jeans anymore. And it'll also give you a little bit more flexibility. These are stretchy a little bit, and with a sort of wider fit, you'll be a little bit more comfortable in those pants too. So that's what I would personally do. Now, the big question is, Yam, would you get an airbag system? And the answer is no. Why is that? I think that at $800 for the Tech Air system, it's a little bit much for a beginner rider. I personally wear this Tech Air 5 system almost every single time I ride currently, but that's as a very experienced motorcyclist, someone who's been doing this a long time and knows that they want to stay in the hobby. This might be a little bit too much to spend as a beginner, knowing that you're not going to be able to really sell this thing after you've sweat in it and just kind of muddied it up and not made it so nice, you know? So I think this one would be one that not really essential, in my opinion, for the beginner rider. If you want to splurge for it, it's a fantastic piece of protection equipment. I wear it. I recommend it. But again, I don't think if you're a beginner, if I was starting all over again, I wouldn't worry too much about the Tech Air 5. I would just make sure I have a nice back protector in my Cargo Air jacket that we looked at earlier. Call it a day. Okay, super important. I would definitely get a nice, high-quality backpack that has a center lock for the chest. That is massively important when riding a motorcycle. The reason for that is it reduces the weight and kind of heft on your shoulders and is going to make your riding way more comfortable. I personally use the Kriega R20. I've used it for almost like 7 years now. Great backpack, but the R25 is the newest kid on the block, and honestly, I've been thinking about upgrading. It's ultra functional, ultra awesome. Kriega makes great stuff. It fits with the hydration pack. You have that system already built into it right here. So you got water on it. You can carry your camera equipment. You can take this for a nice day trip too. I mean, these backpacks are killer. And I think that if you're going out there riding, getting the R25 here would definitely be my choice. I would not skimp on a backpack. I would definitely have something like this R25 for sure. Okay, I also get asked, Yam, would you get a Cardo Pack Talk Edge? Would you get a communicator system if you're starting out? Honestly, no. I don't think it's essential for an entry-level rider. If you've been at it for like 6 months, a year, you're starting to do more group rides, you want to listen to some music, I think that you should prioritize not being distracted while you're riding, especially in the beginning. Later on down the road, a Cardo adds a lot of, quality of life upgrades when it comes to riding your motorcycle. But I think for the entry-level rider, this is not something you need to get. And then the other thing I would certainly get is a tank bag. I talk about this all the time, but a simple tank bag like the one I have from Nelson-Rigg, if I was starting all over again, I would certainly chuck that onto my motorcycle. Get yourself the ability to put all kinds of stuff on there. It's small, it's capable. You can put this on top of any motorcycle. You can magnetize it. That would definitely be something I would snag up as well. Time is running out to win the MT09 SP giveaway bike we have on yammynoob.co. September 13th is the very last day you have to get entered, so don't miss your chance to win. I highly recommend you become a member so you get access to all the benefits of our membership program, and you'll also get the ability to stack up your entries and apply them to our giveaway bikes. If you become a member now, you can get entered for the MT09 SP giveaway and then our next giveaway bike starting just a few days later. And trust me, it's a brand new bike that you're not going to want to miss because so many of you have been mentioning it in the comments. So go and check out the Yamaha MT09 SP giveaway on yammynoob.co and don't miss your chance to get entered to win. September 13th is the very last day to get entered. So what's that first year going to look like? Well, honestly, like I said, you can expect to do a lot of miles. That's what I would do if I was starting out over again. I would jump on the bike every chance I get. I would go out to the parking lot to practice drills. I'd be running errands with the machine. I'd be commuting to work, going to school, whatever it is I would be doing at the time of owning a brand new motorcycle because you just want to get out there and ride. You can expect to do a little bit of maintenance as well. If you buy something lightly used or brand new, you might do that first break-in service, oil change, maybe a slip-on exhaust, maybe adjust some cosmetics here and there, but don't plan on doing anything major because guess what? That's going to reduce your ride time and that's really no fun. As a quick shout out, if you want to find out what that first year of motorcycling would look like, join over on yammynoob.co and you can get access to our Discord server. It's like a bike night that never ends. So if you're a brand new rider or just getting into this hobby and lifestyle, I really recommend you join because then you get access to all this knowledge base and people you can chat to and hang out with. We have location specific channels that'll show you your region. You can go and find people to ride with. It's a ton of fun and I'm on there every single day. So if you got a question for me, that's a great way to join up. And you get access to our giveaway bikes as well. Get your entries locked and loaded. But yeah, since I started out when I was about 22 years old back in 2015, I had my little red Yamaha R3. I kept it for a little too short of a time until I upgraded to a Daytona 675. But if I could go back in time and tell myself, I would say, man, just get something lightweight, used, fun, peppy, agreeable, something that's a little bit more upright. You'll learn a lot more, you'll do a lot more, and you'll have a lot more fun with it as well. I really had no business buying a Daytona 675 with about 6 months of riding under my belt. I made it work somewhat, started tracking, started racing, started having fun with those things. But really, if I could go back in time, I'd probably just get a WR250R and have an absolute blast and enjoy myself. Popping little wheelies, scrambling the thing around, doing some little dual sport riding, and just having fun. And if you had told me 10 years ago that this would be my preferred pick for an on-road motorcycle, I would have told you you're crazy. So don't be surprised if your tastes change over time. I know mine certainly did. I love this grumbly, air-cooled, tall, upright, adventure-y scrambler bike that I have now. And if you had told me when I started, when I got sport bikes and all that, that this is where I'd end up, I wouldn't have believed you. So guys, thank you so much for checking out today's video. Be sure and leave a comment down below letting me know what your first experiences with motorcycling were like. What was your first year like? And if you could go back in time, would you change anything about your journey? Let's create a nice knowledge base for all the new riders out there so we don't get people starting on Turbo Hayabusas and frickin' Turbo ZX10s or whatever. We'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later. Boys, our time is up here. It's a little sad, but this video is over. However, this MT-09 SP is up for grabs on YamiNoob.co, and the coolest part is if you become a member, not only is it the best way to support the show, but you get access to chat with me on Discord. So if you want the conversation to keep going, become a member on YamiNoob.co in the link in the description down below. But if you want a little bit of distance between me and you think I'm a weird guy, which is completely fair, hit the link right over here. Check out this next YamiNoob video. You will not regret it. I guarantee it. I'm sure it's top tier stuff.